Ever wonder how cozy fall scent like warm vanilla sugar transforms from raw ingredients into a beautiful bar of soap? Let's go behind the scenes.
Hi, I'm Shelly with Bubbly Botanicals. I make handcrafted bath and body products that are fun, safe for your skin, and perfect for any season. I am going to walk you through the full soap making process of my warm vanilla sugar soap. It is a cozy fall favorite.
Let's talk a little bit about ingredients. There are a lot of different factors that go into making soap. I use organic coconut oil, and that enhances the lather of the soap and makes it bubbly. Olive oil makes the soap very moisturizing and good for your skin. And then castor oil has a ton of antioxidants in it, and it also helps to moisturize. Add all that with a little tallow and some lye, and you have got a chemical process that is beautiful and makes a wonderful bar of soap. Okay, now let's get on with it. We're going to mix our tallow with some coconut oil and just scoop that on in there. I have to use a harder spoon. You definitely want to use the solid coconut oil and not fractionated coconut oil, which is already liquid when you buy it. Make sure you get the right one. I get the organic coconut oil from Sam's Club. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to pop that mixture of the solid butters into the microwave to melt them down so that we can have a good base to get started with. Now listen, y'all, don't judge my dirty microwave. It'll get clean, don't worry about it. Now while we're waiting on that, we're gonna go ahead and measure out our lye and our water and get those nice and mixed together and ready to go. I typically do this portion ahead of time so that my lye water has time to cool off, because it's gonna have a big chemical reaction. It's gonna make it get really, really hot, and it needs to cool down a whole lot before I can add that to my soap. So I usually do this first, and I do it outside. I don't typically do it inside like this. You wanna make sure you're always adding your lye to the water, not the other way around, because it can kind of explode on you if you add water to lye. In my last soap video, I actually did it backwards, and luckily it was fine, but be first at all times, and that's why I usually do this outside. Okay, so now our melted butters are back, and we are gonna go ahead and measure out and add in our olive oil. Olive oil, like I mentioned before, is very softening and nourishing for the skin. It's got a ton of vitamins in it, and it just makes the bar very nice. Olive oil is the basis for pretty much most soap bars out there. And if you've ever heard of Castile soap, that soap is 100% olive oil soap. Our next ingredient is going to be castor oil. It is a natural humectant, meaning it draws moisture out of the air and helps keep your skin hydrated that way. It is a great ingredient for deep moisturization. So now I'm going to set that aside while the lye cools down, and I'm going to go ahead and measure out my fragrance. So I'm using the warm vanilla sugar by Crafter's Choice that I get from Wholesale Supplies Plus, and I anchor that in a little kaolin clay. Fragrances don't usually stick very well in soaps because the soap has to cure for 3 to 4 weeks before you can use it. The clay helps to anchor the scent and keep it active in the soap a little bit longer. So I'm just going to mix it up a little bit. And then I also add a tablespoon of sugar to my mix, and you may see that later because sugar adds a little bit of extra bubbles and lather to your soap. I'm also going to add a little titanium dioxide to this fragrance because I want to color my soap white. The fragrance actually has a high vanilla content, and anything with a vanilla content that's pretty high is going to turn your soap brown or yellow. And I want my warm vanilla sugar to be a whiter, brighter color. Okay, so my lye water has now come down to temperature, and I'm going to go ahead and mix these together. So I'm going to pour the lye water into my oils and butters. I'm going to get my stick blender, and I'm going to blend it to what you call trace. Now, trace is usually a thick consistency like pudding. In this case, I'm not going to blend it that much because I'm only doing one color. I don't need a thicker consistency to do any swirls or anything fancy. So I'm just going to blend it to emulsion, which means it's all pretty mixed together. And we know that it's going to go ahead and turn into soap. You can see it changing colors as it emulsifies. And that's what you want. You want it to be white and creamy looking. So I'm going to keep mixing for a little bit, and then I'm going to go ahead and add my fragrance mixture to this. Here I'm going to go ahead and add my sugar. Like I mentioned before, I'm just going to get 1 little tablespoon and drop it in there, and that is all. I'm going to go ahead and mix that back up with my stick blender, and then we'll get into our fragrance. So I've mixed that a little bit, and I'm going to go ahead and add in the fragrance. And it's a little thick, so I'm going to get a little spoon and kind of scrape the rest of it out of there, because I want every little bit of that clay to be in this soap. Clay also has a softening effect. This is the same clay that you would use for a face mask. So it's going to help nourish your skin and draw out any impurities. So I'm just getting every little bit that I can get out of here, and then I'm going to mix it up a little bit more. Make sure I have it fully incorporated into the mixture, that it's not going to, if you don't mix it up well enough, you'll have little white spots in your soap. I mean, it's a white soap anyway, but I don't want it to look non-uniform. I want it to look all the same. So I'm going to make sure that I mix that up really well, and then we will go ahead and pour it into our soap bowl. And we are ready for the pour. We're going to go ahead and just fill it up. And then whenever I get the mold full, I'm going to spray the top with alcohol. That keeps soda ash from forming on the top, like an ashy. It's not harmful, it's just not very pretty. And it also keeps down the bubbles inside the soap. So if there's any bubbles, I can see a few bubbles on top right now, and it will eliminate those bubbles. I like to take a little flat spoon and make a design on top of the soap. And you can see on the corner of my tray there, I'm going to sprinkle a little bit of sugar on top. And this is the final result. You can see where some of those bubbles didn't go away on the side.
If you want to try this bar yourself, it will be available October 1st. The link is in the description below. You can also get my self-care checklist, which is absolutely free and walks you through how to get rid of the multiple 20-step morning and night routine and what to do instead. And if you'd like to see more behind the scenes soap making videos like this, go ahead and like and subscribe.